Welcome to the Kickstart My Franchise podcast. I'm your host, Tim Michaels. Today, I'm joined by Paul Dorsey, who is the CEO of Jantize America. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Make sure it's Jantize, one A, one I, one E. Everybody wants to put an extra A, like Jantize or Janitize. There's no I.
Okay, so pronounce it for me one more time.
Jantize.
Jantize.
Yes.
Okay. So
Got
what
it?
is Jantize America?
Jantize, we make your building more. That's a great question. And now you've caught me off the top. So Jantize is a very unique franchise opportunity, and we can get into the schematics of it, or the minute, or the whole majority of franchising. So at Jantize America, which I call the National Franchise Support Center, I sell and support local area developers, also known as master franchisors. Those area developers purchase a football city, a large metropolitan, where a football team could be held, whether it's in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or Tampa Bay, or your neck of the woods, Chicago. We could probably have north and south because the territory is so big. The area developers then become sub-franchisors. They actually become franchisors. And even some of my LinkedIn posts, when you're talking to your candidates, do your candidates want to become franchisees and pay royalties, or do they want to become franchisors and collect royalties? Those are two good questions. Lo and behold, the Jantize area developers then award local Jantize unit franchisees in a specific territory, whether it be Chicago, Tampa, or Charlotte area. The area developer is a sales and marketing money-making machine, focusing on awarding the local unit franchisees. Average unit franchisees initially invest about $15,000 with their area developer. For that $15,000, they're actually buying customers that are provided by the area developer. So the area developers need to come on with at least one, with goals to have 2, 3, 4 sales guys out knocking on doors, new business development to secure the customers for the unit franchisees to service all the facility services. Our motto is more than just cleaning. The unit franchisees are big time business owners who just so happen to be in the janitorial or the facility service industry. And just for an example, I'm almost done. I'm sorry if it's so. The example is my guy Robert Chess, and you can talk to Robert in Raleigh, North Carolina, has actually awarded, it's 93 unit franchises in Raleigh, North Carolina. Wow. You can do the math. Robert's a good sales guy. He's got a couple of guys out knocking on doors. Robert is literally doing over $500,000 a month worth of the local janitorial services in a small market, Raleigh, North Carolina. Wow. The area developer receives a 9% royalty as a franchisor and a 7% management or support fee. So 16% of the gross revenue stays with Robert or Guy or Jim or Bobby or whomever the area developer is within that territory.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Wow. Sounds interesting. That was a lot to handle. So let's go back just a little bit. I know before we got on here, you and I talked about this a little bit, but my understanding of, area developer versus master franchise has always been that those are two separate things, but I'd love to hear sort of your definition and why you think about them the way you do.
Thanks. So long term, you got to watch my video where I go over the different types of franchises. I think it's on one of your broker sites too. So the different types of franchises, not a brand, a type. Type number 1 is a unit franchise. Type number 2 is a multi-unit franchise. Type number 3 is an area developer that I sell and support or award at Jantize America. And type number 4 is a true master franchise. I think that master franchise would actually buy a whole country, such as Canada, We would change the brand. I'm not even wearing my shirt today. Sorry about that. Where's the brand? We would change the brand to a maple leaf instead of an American flag, and some of the marketing, and he would have the whole country of Canada.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to go on the record a little bit here too. The reason that we don't call them or master franchises is, Tim, it's just politically incorrect. I'll tell you, years ago, I had my first unit franchisee, and he looked at me and said, "Paul, you are not my master. I'm not calling you master." And I was like, "You're right. We're area developers." Matter of fact, Jantize is area developers because my office, the National Franchise Support Center, we take care of all the billing, the credit, the collections through our JanView proprietary software. At the end of the year, the 1099 comes from Jantize America, not the area developer. But you know what? I don't know about other franchise systems. I don't care whether you call it an area developer, a master franchise, a regional franchise, a local franchise, or I want you to know it's a money making machine is what I want you to call it. An
Message
unknown one.
received.
And back to marketing too. My Mason and my marketing guys, you know that terminology master franchise? It's only Googled about, I don't know, 250 times a year in the whole country. And you know why? Because nobody knows what a master franchise is. You can ask IFA, they have a different definition. Ask Jantize, they have a definition. Ask the hair cuttery, they have a different definition. So there's no defined definition on what a true area developer or master franchise is. Each franchisor kind of makes up his own terminology.
Sure. Yeah, I know that made a lot of sense. Appreciate you walking us through that. As far as this area developer opportunity goes, let's say I sign on, I'm an area developer for you guys. How does that work as far as like what am I doing on a daily basis? How many employees do I need?
Great. So the area developer is awarding those unit franchisees. We put these ads, which you probably see too, for the unit franchise. It says, "Be your own boss, become a Jantize unit franchisee." Customers are guaranteed. So whether it's on the franchise.com or it's on the franchise portal or it's on bizbuysell.com or you know where else, even Craigslist, we have an online ad. From that ad, if you were to be the area developer in Chicago, at least minimum 5, sometimes 10 inquiries per week of would-be Jantize unit franchisees. Because the unit franchisees, as I mentioned, are actually buying customers. Don't get me wrong, there's training, there's support. My office and my legal team sets up a franchise disclosure document for you in the Chicago territory. But the unit franchisees are great customer service and operational people. They're not salespeople. So, in a nutshell, they're buying the customers that are provided by the area developer. Area developer, as I mentioned, needs to come on with at least one outside sales guy and one part-time inside salespeople. But Chicago, literally, we could have 10 salespeople out knocking on doors, going to the chamber meetings, bringing in the customers for those unit franchisees to service.
Got it. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So just to clarify, if I'm a unit franchisee, not an area developer, do I ever have to go out and get any customers? I know I'm getting some, but do I have to go get like another portion of it, or I never
No,
go
no,
out and
the,
do
the
anything?
unit franchisees, they never have to do any sales and marketing. The area
Interesting.
developer does all the sales and marketing. Unit franchisees are the customer service and operations. They got to make sure that end use customer, that facilities maintained, and they're also managing the subcontractors, whether it's somebody cleaning the fryer hoods or it's somebody power washing the sidewalks or it's somebody cleaning the windows. In we use other my unit franchisees use other franchisees from different brands and then mark it up 35% because that customer, the facility, the car dealership, the restaurant, the multi-tenant building is a customer of my unit franchisees.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
it does. It does. It sounds interesting.
And that's the unit franchisee has the toughest. That's the toughest part, managing that customer.
I bet. I bet. um, as far as, the target customer, can you give us just an idea of like who all could be a potential customer and who are you actually like approaching? I know you mentioned like Chamber of Commerce meetings, but like what are the main channels that
So
you go
you're
through?
interested in the end use customer who's getting their facility cleaned? Is that the clarifying question?
Yeah, I guess just like size of average customer. Like, am I going? Are these massive companies? Is it the whole
No, no,
building?
no.
Like,
Again, let's make sure we're on the same page and we can go research the facility services, just the commercial cleaning. It's a $128 billion a year industry. This is before COVID. We've tripled our business because of COVID. And don't get me wrong, we've had family and friends, and it was very nasty. But we're no longer the dumb janitors. We're the health and safety guys. So you think about it, driving down. I was going to say I-40, but whatever street you're in Chicago, Tim. Every one of those buildings getting cleaned tonight, whether it be the convenience store, the restaurant, the movie theater, the car dealership, which is a great niche, the dentist office, the doctors, the logistics, you name the facility is getting clean. Screw all the home care window guys. We're the only ones doing the commercial business to business, 8 to 5, no nights, no weekends. Those are all the customers. You name it, we clean it. Although you mentioned those big multi tenant buildings in downtown Charlotte or downtown Chicago, those are not our niche market. Our
got
niche
it.
market are facilities that are, say, 50,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet and everything in between.
Awesome. Yeah, no, appreciate you clarifying that. Can you talk a little bit about sort of who is the ideal person to open one of these area developer units
Well, besides you,
besides me?
someone with your background, the MBA, who understands residual income, scalability, and building an empire. And we can go through some numbers. I'll show you the item 19 and the FDD and all those great things. But we're looking for somebody who's really going to be a go getter and able to build a team. It's not a one man show. My area developers, they're selling 1, 2 unit franchises a month at $15,000, $20,000. That's great. But they're going to need to manage those sales guys, 1, 2, 3 sales guys. So we really need an empire builder sales management type guy who's going to invest X amount of dollars to build the territory.
Got it. And how much does it cost to actually open one of these area developers?
Territories are $95,000 for the territory. Again, it's a million or more in population, a football city, as I mentioned. And then he probably needs another, I don't know, $75,000 to get a small office and hire some salespeople.
Got it. Okay. As far as the item 19 that you mentioned, is there anything that you can share on that? It's fine if not.
Yeah, again, I don't have the specs in front of me, so I don't want to share anything that's not in there.
Sure.
I would refer that question back to Brett, my CFO, when we go over the process. And part of the awarding is, hey, you talk to Tania and the friend Dev, and then you talk to me, and then you talk to Brett, and we're making sure that you have the information.
Sure. Makes sense. I know we had talked about, other things within the industry. You've got a lot of comments, questions, viewpoints. Any other areas you want to touch on?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, appreciate you joining us today.